Today we're going to be writing equations of parallel lines. In our previous video, we talked about the differences among parallel lines, perpendicular lines, and just regular intersecting lines. Our focus today is only going to be on parallel lines. So we are going to be taking a few steps to writing equations of parallel lines. First, when we have our equation, we want to identify the slope of the given equation. So m. Because we're writing the equation of a parallel line, then we will be using that same slope to get that second equation. We're going to be using an old formula called the point-slope formula with the point that we are given and the slope of that equation. For those of us who don't remember what the point-slope formula was, our formula is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. So our directions today are to write the slope-intercept form of the equation parallel to the given line passing through the given point. So as you can see in my problem, I have a point, and then it's telling me to find the line that is parallel to y is equal to negative 1x minus 3. For those of us who have forgotten what this means, remember if I only see a negative next to a variable, that just means that there is a 1 sitting there. So I have a negative 1 there. Okay, I'm going to zoom in just a bit. All right, so first let's identify the slope. And the slope of this equation, I'm going to call it m, is negative 1. Now for this exercise, I don't have to make this a fraction. All right, so now I'm going to use the point we are given and the slope, and we're going to put it into the point-slope formula. Okay, so before I do, I want to color code my point-slope formula so that you see how I'm plugging things in. Where I'm highlighting is where you are going to be substituting values. Now for the problem I have a point and I have slope. One piece of advice is label the ordered pair you are given. So I know this number always represents the x coordinate and this one always represents the y coordinate. Now I'm going to use the 3 colors that I used to highlight and highlight the pieces I have. So I know x I highlighted in pink, y I highlighted in yellow, and slope I highlighted in blue. Now all we have to do is plug it into the formula correctly, distribute, and solve for y. And we should have the equation that would be parallel to the given line. So I have y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. And I'm going to put these 3 items in the right spots. So I'm going to color code this again just so that you can see where everything is going. If you need to pause the video, please do so that you can either catch up or keep up. All right, so let's put some numbers in. What we have not highlighted, we are not changing, so that we just bring down. So I have y minus, and now I have to put the number that we have for y sub 1, which happens to be negative 4. Notice that I'm writing negative 4 in addition to the subtraction sign that we had in our formula. Please make sure to do this, otherwise you will be writing this incorrectly and getting the incorrect line. Is equal to m, and the number for m that we have is negative 1 times x minus x sub 1, which for us is 3. Okay, from here we are going to take the number on the outside of parentheses and we're going to distribute. Okay, and I'm going to write those steps down so you can see. Once we do that, also double negative, we know always turns into a positive. So let's make that change now as well. I have y plus 4 is equal to negative 1 times x gives me negative 1x, and a negative 1 times a negative 3 gives me a positive 3. From here, I'm going to solve for y, get y alone, so I must subtract 4 to the other side. And that leaves me with y is equal to negative 1x minus 1. So the equation of the line that is parallel to the given line is y is equal to negative 1x minus 1. Okay, so I'm going to write right here, subtract 4, because that's what we did. Okay, all right, let's try another one. We need to write the equation of the line that's going through 5, negative 2, and is parallel to y is equal to negative 4 over 5x minus 5. So one more time, we have to first identify the slope. What is m for this equation? Remember, it's y equals mx plus b. So in our case, it's negative 4 over 5. Because we want a line parallel, that means we want the same slope. So we're going to use that. I'm going to label my ordered pair, x, y. And now I'm going to color code all of my pieces. So that's pink, this one's yellow, and M is going to be blue. Okay, if you need to pause the video to try this one on your own, and then we can check together after you're done, that'd be great. I'm going to write the formula again, because then it gives me a better understanding of where I need to be plugging things in. So I'm also going to color code so that I know that I'm not going to make a mistake. And now I'm going to start replacing my variables. I have y minus y sub 1. In this case, y sub 1 is negative 2. Notice that I'm writing negative 2 in addition to my subtraction sign. M is negative 4 over 5 times x minus x sub 1, which is 5. Okay, from here, now we distribute. But the question is, well, how do we multiply a fraction and a whole number? Well, negative 4/5 times x will always just give us a negative 4/5 x. But what about this fraction and this negative 5 here? Well, let's do that on the side. I can say negative 4 over 5 times negative 5. But how do I make this 5 a fraction? I just put a 1 under it. And now I can multiply straight through. I know a negative 4 times a negative 5 is a positive 20. And a 5 times 1 is going to be a 5. When I divide this, I'm going to get a 4. I'm going to use this number as my result here, and that was a positive 4. I have that situation with a double negative again. Double negative always turns into positive. If you only have one negative sign here, do not change it into a positive. This is only when you have a double negative. And now we're going to solve for y, which means I need to get rid of this positive 2, and the way to do that is by subtracting 2 to both sides of that equation. Leaving me with y is equal to negative 4 over 5x plus 2. This is the line passing through the point 5, negative 2 that is parallel to this particular line. I hope that clarified how to write equations of parallel lines. Until next time.